Hey guys, Crispy Bacon back with another build for you. In this video we will be talking about a PvE Warlock setup that uses 3 sniper rifles, and I call it Angel of Death. We will be combining 3 of the strongest sniper rifles currently in the game, along with top tree Dawnblade and Warmind Cells. The gameplay that this build provides gives us one of the most fun and versatile builds that I've played with in quite a long time. The main strategy with this build is to get up in the air and levitate with Wings of Sacred Dawn, eliminate as many enemies as possible with our Caitl sniper rifle, create Warmind Cells, and then pop those Warmind Cells with our other sniper rifles. Eliminating all of these enemies mid-air with Warmind Cells not only provides us incredible ad clear, but also gives us great ability regen thanks to top tree Dawnblade. In addition to this ad clear, we also have very decent DPS in terms of our recombination perk on our Succession sniper rifle and Whisper breathing on the Whisper of the Worm. There are a lot of moving parts with this build, so let's go ahead and break down each item that you'll require to set this build up yourself. For our kinetic sniper rifle, we'll be using a Succession sniper rifle from Deepstone Crypt, and we'll want recombination on this. For our energy slot, we'll be using the Caitl sniper rifle with any perk combination that you prefer. And lastly, in our heavy slot, we'll be using the Whisper of the Worm, preferably with the catalyst equipped. This slot in this build is the most malleable, so if Whisper of the Worm is not your thing, I know I'm going for the 3 sniper rifle setup, you can always switch to any other exotic or legendary heavy that you prefer. I will say that 1000 Voices as well as Eyes of Tomorrow are really good ideas to swap in for this setup if you don't like sniper rifles. They synergize with both the Subclass and the Warmind Cells that we'll talk about in just a bit. Let's make sure to have major spec on our kinetic sniper rifle and minor spec on our Caitl. For our exotic armor piece, we'll be using the Wings of Sacred Dawn, which is an exotic drop that you can get from any source in the game. This exotic is the cornerstone of the playstyle of this build, and allows us to levitate in the air while aiming down sights. This improves airborne accuracy, reduces incoming flinch, and grants damage resistance. When we hit enemies with our weapons, we are able to float for even longer. As for mods, on our helmet, we'll want 2 sniper rifle ammo finder mods, as well as global reach. On our arms, we'll want Impact, Induction, and Rage of the Warmind. On our wings, we'll want 2 Sniper Rifle Reserves mods and Wrath of Rasputin. On our legs, we'll want double Sniper Rifle Scavenger mods and Fireteam Medic. And then on our bond, we'll want Bomber, Special Finisher, and Burning Cells. As for stats, let's focus on Mobility, Resilience, and Recovery. And for our subclass, we'll be using Top Tree Dawnblade, known as Attunement of Sky. So the base gameplay of this build is very simple, but it's how all of these mods and subclass synergies interact with the gameplay that makes this build really stand out. So the main strategy of this build again is very simple. It is jumping up into the air, hovering with Wings of Sacred Dawn, aiming down sights with our Caitl sniper rifle, shooting low health enemies and creating Warmind Cells, shooting those Warmind Cells with our other sniper rifles, and clearing out a ton of mobs in the process. This build really just becomes shooting Warmind Cell after Warmind Cell, and that's because of the mod Wrath of Rasputin, which makes it so that Solar Splash damage final blows have a chance to create Warmind Cells. This allows Warmind Cell explosions to then chain into more Warmind Cells being created. Thus, each time we shoot a Warmind Cell and destroy it, the cycle starts all over again. These Warmind Cell explosions are made even stronger thanks to Rage of the Warmind, giving them additional solar explosive damage, Burning Cells, which gives them damage over time effects on all of the enemies struck by the explosion, as well as Global Reach, which just gives the explosions a larger radius. But it's Fireteam Medic that really makes this setup work, because while we're in the air, we're a bit exposed to enemy fire, and Fireteam Medic makes it so that whenever we blow up a cell, we actually heal ourselves and our allies. Combine this heal with the additional damage resistance we get with Wings of Sacred Dawn while aiming down sights, and we're actually even a bit tanky in the air. Now let's jump into the synergies given to us by Top Tree Dawnblade, which really evens out this build and gives us some surprisingly useful effects. First off, with Winged Sun, any airborne final blows actually grants us melee energy. This is especially useful with the Top Tree Dawnblade's melee ability, which is Celestial Fire, which sends out a spiral of 3 explosive solar energy blasts. Icarus Dash gives us the ability to dodge in midair, which really helps us reposition in the air if we're trying to shoot a Warmind Cell that is behind cover, or just generally get to a better sniping spot in the air. Additionally, the ability to dodge enemy bullets or just reposition defensively is extremely useful on this build. And lastly, the Heat Rises perk allows us to consume our grenade to extend our glide time and improve our inner accuracy. Personally, I did not find this perk extremely useful and instead preferred just to use my grenade offensively, but if this works for you and you prefer it, let me know in the comments. As for the grenade, Solar Grenade is a great choice in PvE and it is my preferred option for this build. Empowering Rift is a great option for this setup because you can always land on the ground, pop your Empowering Rift, and then do some decent DPS with Whisper and the Worm. And as for our jump, I actually found that Burst Glide was the best choice because it can help you get up in the air quick. The other jumps are great in their own right, but I found Burst Glide the best because all I wanted to do was get as high as possible, as fast as possible, and if I needed to dodge anything or strafe, I could always use Icarus Dash if I needed to. Not to mention that if you get good with it, you can also use the combination of Burst Glide and Icarus Dash to do some really quick movement on Warlock. You can kind of do a bit of a skating technique that helps you get through any activity really quick. The best advice I can give for that skating technique is to jump in the air, and then right when you trigger that second jump, immediately after, trigger Icarus Dash. Do that 2 times in a row in one jump to put your Icarus Dash on cooldown, and you'll be moving pretty quickly. Once you hit the ground, jump and fly again, and you'll be able to keep that momentum going. Last few synergies to talk about. Obviously, we're using the ammo economy synergy by using all sniper rifle ammo mods. This gives us ammo for both of our special sniper rifles, but also lets more heavy drop in any activity, meaning that we'll have more ammo for our Whisper of the Worm all the time, so we're really killing 2 birds with 1 stone here. We mentioned earlier that we're going to have a ton of melee energy thanks to the Winged Sun perk, and this is all actually going to feed into the Impact Induction perk, which makes it so that causing damage with a melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown. In this way, we're also lowering the cooldown of our grenade just by using our melee. Since this melee can hit multiple targets, this also reduces grenade cooldown by quite a bit. And again, to further that grenade cooldown rate, we have Bomber, which gives us reduced grenade cooldown when using our class ability, so anytime we're on the ground popping our Empowering Rift to do damage, we'll also be gaining a bit of grenade energy back as well. And last thing to mention here is that the Dawnblade Super is actually not too good, so instead of using super energy for that, we'll be using it for special finisher, which makes it so that when we finish an enemy, we can create special ammo for ourselves, which further helps us sustain the special ammo economy that we'll definitely need to rely on for this build. And with that, we come to the end of the build video here. I really appreciate you guys sticking around to the end. There's always a lot of information to cover, and I hope that you found it insightful. If you liked what you saw, make sure to check the description to see where else you can find me. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.
We thank you, Guardian, and we will never forget.